Hi guys, so here we go again, and this will be just like what the title said. Last year, or more than a year, I made this DIY sump, and we're going to upgrade that now because I used to use that with my African cichlids, but because I rehomed them, we started the 75-gallon tank with this new discus tank. Not so visible in this video, but the water is not that clear. As you could see here, it's kind of a bit cloudy, but I do have two sponge filter. Problem is I only have a very small power head that runs through a overhead filter which comes with that filtration set. And also just below this 75 gallon you would see this 50-gallon tank, and I would be rehoming this few left of the African cichlids, and I would be setting up a new tank for a new fish. But here's my workstation right now. It's all messed up. It's because I'm trying to find a way how to redo or upgrade this plant box that we did last time because it doesn't have any divider. So trying to research online through YouTube and other fish keeper experience, I decided to make a very low budget overhead sump. So using the cracker plastic container, I cut that out and trying to figure out at this point how would the water flow out. It's because last time the divider that we did was made of sponges, which as soon as the water comes in, it all slides down and it came off from where I placed them. So everything just it's kind of mess inside this planter box. So as you can see here, I'm trying to figure out, but in the middle of doing all this, my glue gun actually broke. So left with the glue gun stick, what I did is I took a candle and then lit it up and melt that glue stick, and so I can continue this job. That's why the other divider has a black colored glue around it. And so we're trying to use everything that I have used before, and as much as possible. The only new thing that I know that I have here is this filter floss, that white somewhat like sponge looking. So I'm trying to show you here. My plan is to see how the water will flow in, and got some filtration medias to use here: porous balls, lava rocks or lava rings, and then we got some ceramic rings here. And as you can see, water will be coming in and then we'll run through all these medias to somewhat purify or filter the water that would go in or go back inside our tank. So there's a bit of challenge doing this. It's because I don't have any idea how would the pressure take all this media, and I'm trying to avoid that this planter would make a very heavy load on the top of the tank. So this will be somewhat experimental on my end here, and then we'll just try to adjust and improve the parts that is needed so that it will distribute the load of this planter box. So we will be running water. As you could see here, I'm inside my bathroom, and well, we're trying to fill this first chamber first with the filter floss, and because it's a new floss, then I have to tap it down or push it down. And then one problem that I saw here is that it's filling too much of water, and it takes time for the water to reach the outlet part of it. to go to the next chamber. And so as you would know, the second chamber, the outlet is at the bottom. And so I place a filter floss on top of this, and so here's the water coming out. But then it takes time, so probably we will do some adjustments, improve the flow of the water by cutting the outlets to a bigger outlet or cut, so the water would flow smoothly. And one thing that you would see here observing is that because there's too much of water going in and having a hard time to pass through the first chamber, it overflowed. And so we're not depicting the purpose of what we're doing right now. So I tried to remove the floss first to see if that would make the water flow more smoothly and would not overflow for each chamber. So I did take that out one more and check and see how it goes. So I tried a couple of times, and as you can see here, the water somewhat lowered down after removing the floss, and I need to probably cut the first chamber lower or much deeper so that the water will be released much faster, and the water on this first chamber would lower down instead. And anyway, the second chamber, the water outlet is underneath or below it. So making more few tests with these chambers that we're doing, I'm happy that we're able and getting there to have these dividers to work as for our filtration and the water to pass through smoothly. So, but doing all this because we're trying to recycle all the parts, this is how messy my room is right now. And I'll be showing you every step of the way until that I have this working on the top of the 75-gallon tank. So I got a small filtration box, and then I got this divider inside, and I took it out, and then I will be using this to sit the filter floss so that it will not be soaked and will not be useless floating inside this first chamber. And so I cut more and made a deeper cut or lowered down the outlet, and then we sealed up all the parts here. And so let's check. So what I did is I placed one filter floss first, and so I made another floss to cut there, and then let's see how it will work to see if the load of the water and also passing through all these chambers would be smoothly. So turning on the water right now, figuring that out, we can easily once it's sturdy, we can easily replace our filter floss. And we're trying to see if the water have lowered down doing this bigger cuts on the outlet part. And well, I guess that worked because I can see here that the water is not overflowing on the side there, and also based on where the water comes out. And I might cut a little bit more, I guess, for this first chamber on the divider, and so I can feel the weight still on this first chamber. And here also on the last chamber divider, I would need to work on and cut a little bit deeper so it would release the water much faster, because anyway all the medias are lowered down or soaked in, and and because we had sealed everything there, the water that comes out, which is filtered, will be coming out smoothly, and we can still add some Nivea around this spot. So this is successful on our end, and as you can see here, it's a good attempt on our end here, and I guess this is much better with the first one that we did, and that's why we have upgraded our overhead sump. And there, as you can see, the water have lowered down, and I will be cutting that a little bit more so the water will flow much faster. And here's another step of what we're doing. Because it's an old planter box, mineral builds up around the part outside of the planter because we have improved the one inside, and then so let's decide to improve the outside too. We'll be painting this in black, and so my hands won't get dirty with the paint. I'm wearing gloves right now, and of course doing the paint you would need a paintbrush, and good thing my dad have a reserve paintbrush there, and I have a flat screwdriver to open this paint that we have, and we're ready to go. As you can see, those white ones, those are the accumulated calcium because of being used, and we want to cover that. We're not going to paint the underside of this planter. We would only paint the sides of this and a little bit of the rim on the top. And it's good to use a paintbrush like this, because if it's a broad one, you can easily brush and cover everything with paint faster than a smaller brush. And also the distribution of the paint is much better looking than using a very small brush. So this is a fast drying paint that we have here, acrylic black paint that I have used in the past, and we can still use it right now. And as you can see, it didn't take long for me to cover almost one side of this planter box. The story behind this is, of course, it's obvious earlier. What I told you, that the water is not that pristine or clear. It's somewhat cloudy because of the food and because we have a very small power head to use. And I do have a big power head, but the discus couldn't take any strong current, so I would need to use something or make use of something that would filter the water, but then removing the current or the flow of the water inside the tank. And so I'm almost done with the first or the other side of this sump. As you can see, it's nasty looking white calcium buildup there, coming from the water source last time. So we're going to paint the rim also, so that when you pass through it, it looks new. It doesn't look like an ordinary planter on top of your aquarium or your tank, and it will serve its purpose of filtering our water inside our tank. And the best part, it's a low budget because we didn't use any new thing or bought anything new or expensive just to have this working. Actually, the new thing that we just bought is the filter floss, and that's it. The old media, I got that when I had this project the first time, and the other parts, well, it's an old or a used cracker plastic box, and also we have some glue sticks and some scissors. All parts are recycled, even this paint that we're using right now. Almost done. So If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and also watch the part 2 of this video. And as you can see, we're almost done here, and I'll be showing you the top part of the tank, and it's all brand new looking, right? And it doesn't look like a planter anymore, but something else. And well, let me show you here on the top view. Well, I placed some old calendars there, so in case there's a paint drip. But voila, who would ever thought that this is just a planter box. And so there's another thing. Because our power head, I'll be showing you here that it's 2,500 liters per hour, so it's really having a current. So I closed the flow part, and our plan here is to cover that underside of it, which sucks in the water. And I have here for the sponge filter, as you would see, there's like somewhat a tube inside. What we want to do is this part goes inside of that part, so we can cover the suction or the pressure from the suction, and also for the safety of other fishes. And we can place the sponge here, and it will still serve as to suck in all small particles while we have this power head on top of it. So let's begin, and I'll be showing you how we're going to remove it. And this side, that were the hose, black hose to go up to the filter box. And we have a wire cutter here, and I'll be just cutting the inside of it to remove that small tube inside. Take a little while though, but it's not that difficult. It's just that it's because the tip of the wire cutter doesn't go inside fully, so we're just having a hard time. And I'll be removing that part as I have cut the inside already, and we'll be pulling it out. So there you go, voila! So success. And this part of it, as I will show you, it's like a tube now. We'll be putting it back on top of where we got it. So we're going to just connect them again. And then, as you would know with sponge filter, there's a weight at the bottom, that part. And I'll be removing this one because I already have that on this part that we just fixed. And I'll be just attaching that at the bottom right there, and then you will hear a click that would lock the parts together. And let me just show you, now that we have removed that small tube inside, as with this power head, I want you to imagine how it would look like. See, we're able to put it inside. Still, what does this suction at underside this overhead, I mean this power head, it will still work as how it works with this sponge filter. So what we're going to do is that once we have placed this inside the tank, the suction cup from the power head would we would adjust that to push it down, so this sponge filter at the bottom would not actually move. And then let me show you that because we have covered the front side where the current comes out, we need the water to come up to our overhead sump, and that's how it's gonna look like. All right. And another thing is that because we have different sizes of sponges, you can use also a bigger size like this one that I have, which because we have a 75-gallon tank and this is much newer than that smaller one, we'll be using this instead. But also the same thing as what we'll be doing, we will have the power head to sit on top of it, as it will do the same. And this one is much better, it's because it's a bigger sponge. So watch out guys for part 2. See ya, bye!